If something bad happens to you in life, you did something to attract it. Utter nonsense. Tell me, the millions of people, Jews, gypsies, communists, homosexuals, the millions of people who were murdered in the Holocaust, in the concentration camps, tell me, how did they all manifest that? How did they attract that into their lives? Huh? Seriously? Get real. Bad stuff happens. Not always because of what we do. Yes, there are times where we do things which greatly enhance the risk of something bad happening to us. And yes, there can be times when we cause bad things to happen to us. When we drive recklessly, for example, we are endangering our lives as well as the lives of countless others. When we crash because we've been driving dangerously, yes, it's our fault. You could say we attracted that. I don't think I would go so far as to say we attracted it, but we certainly caused it. However, the person that the drunk driver crashes into, did they manifest that? No, they did not, despite what some people would have us believe. The wife of the person who was mowed down by the drunk driver and has now lost their partner, did she manifest that? How did she attract that into her life? That person's children, how did they manifest their father being mowed down by a drunk driver? Tell me, how did they manifest that? How did they attract that into their lives? How did their vibrational energy cause that to happen? Rubbish. It did not. Bad stuff happens because there are bad people around, or because there are people around who do not consider others, or because there are people around who do not consider the implications of their actions. Bad stuff doesn't happen just because we manifest bad stuff happening to us, or because we attract bad stuff to us. That is not how the world works. And I wish people would stop saying that we attract everything that happens to us, because it is unhelpful, it is harmful, it is judgmental, it is offensive. And I mean offensive in its truest sense. Yes, we can create situations which increase the likelihood of us achieving particular results. Yes, we can do things to reduce the chances of stuff happening to us. But that does not mean that we cause those things to happen to us. No person who has ever been sexually assaulted has caused that assault to happen. The only person responsible for causing that assault to happen is the perpetrator of that assault. A woman should be able to walk buck naked down a crowded street at pub chucking out time without anyone laying a finger on her. Simple as that. We do not attract all the bad stuff that happens to us. Bad stuff happens. It is not our fault. Sometimes it is, but not everything is. So if you are going around saying that we manifest everything that happens, stop it. If somebody's telling you that when next time something bad happens to you that you attracted that in some way, ignore them. They are talking complete bunkum. Yes, you might be able to figure out things that you could have done which could have possibly prevented that situation from arising, but it does not mean you attracted that situation. It does not mean it was your fault that it happened, and you certainly didn't attract it or manifest it. So we've taken a look at 4 different things. I want to take a look at a 5th one now, just for us to round up. And this is one that came to me during when I was attending a personal development seminar. And it was something which the leader of the seminar said. Now, don't get me wrong, I've nothing against personal development or personal development seminars. In that seminar, we all learned a lot. Many of us made massive breakthroughs. It was very, very good. But there was one thing that they said which really kind of irked me and niggled away for a long time. And that's what I'm sharing here. Basically, they said, in order to achieve what you want to achieve, you must be willing to do anything. You must be willing to do what it takes. Who here is willing to do what it takes? Who here is willing to do anything to achieve their goals? Yeah. And of course, everybody raising their hands and all whipped up into a frenzy. Yeah, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll do anything to achieve my goal. Anything. Yeah. And I was thinking, no, you won't. No, you won't. Because, see, When you say, I will do anything, are you really prepared to steal money to achieve your goal? Are you prepared to swindle other people in order to achieve your goal? Are you prepared to commit murder in order to achieve your goal? Are you? Now I'm guessing the answer is no to all three of those. I certainly truly hope the answer is no to all three of those. Yet that is what you're committing to. When you say, I'm willing to do anything, you're ruling nothing out, including illegal acts, immoral acts, including murder, including theft. Is that really what you're saying? Now, obviously, this person wasn't expecting us to go out and commit murder, but they weren't expecting us to go out and commit fraud. They weren't expecting us to go out and steal. Obviously not. But that's my point. That's my point. Although they said, are you willing to do anything? They didn't actually mean, are you willing to do anything? And when the people were saying, yeah, I will do anything to achieve my goal, yeah, they didn't literally mean they would do anything. There are limits. There are always limits to what we will do. There are always exceptions to things that we will do. We always have boundaries. And it's very important to have these boundaries. Because, I mean, who wants to live in a world where people will have no qualms about shooting you if it's going to achieve their goal? Heavens, nobody wants to live in that sort of environment. But my point is, we acknowledge there are boundaries. Yet we were pretending there were no boundaries. And see, here's the thing. When you say, I will do whatever it takes, you don't mean that. So why say it in the first place? You don't mean you will do literally anything. So why say it? It makes us feel good, but we're setting up a conflict. Part of us is saying, I'll do anything. Another part of us knows that there are things we won't do, which means we won't actually do anything, which means that statement is meaningless, it's irrelevant, it's unhelpful. It's my point, and this is something I raise every time I run any seminars that I run, or any workshops that I run. I always make this point. We all have limitations on what we are prepared to do, and that is absolutely fine. The important thing is not pretending that we've got no limits. It's not pretending that we will do anything. The important thing is to acknowledge there are limits, acknowledge our limitations, bring them into our conscious. And it's not just I'm not going to shoot someone to achieve my goal, but it's acknowledge what are all the other limitations which you are placing. Recognize and accept that there are limitations. You are not prepared to do absolutely anything. Identify what all of those limitations are. Get all of them down. And then, for each one, just check in. Is that a valid limitation? Or is this kind of a fake limit that I've placed on myself that I would be, at some level, prepared to eliminate so that I could do that to achieve my goal? Yeah? I just take it back to the example I gave earlier on about me running the London Marathon. Yeah, I'm prepared to do anything, but I'm not going to train. I'm not going to train for it. Okay. I'm not going to train. That's a limitation on what I'll do. Is that something I'd be prepared to forego? Is that a limitation I'd be prepared to remove? Such that I would be prepared to train. See what I mean? When you say you'll do anything, you're lying. You won't do anything. You'll do many things, but you won't do anything. And that's good. Acknowledge what are the things that you won't do. And then check in. Is that a valid limitation? I'm not going to commit murder. Well, I think most of us would agree that's probably a valid limitation in pretty much every case. But there are other limitations which you may, once you realise it's a limitation, many of these we don't realise it's a limit. We don't realise it's something we're not prepared to do until we're forced to confront it. So we can start recognising ourselves in advance. Actually, I said I wouldn't do that, but actually, it would be worth me being able to do that. in order to achieve this. We can then start to remove those artificial limitations which are holding us back. Whereas when we just blindly say, I will do anything, we're not acknowledging those limitations, which means we're not addressing those limitations, which means when they inevitably come up, bam, we hit against them and we wonder why the heck we haven't got the results we were expecting. So it's a myth to say you will do anything. And that's good. Acknowledge there are things you will not do. Work out what those are. And then determine, is that an absolute, an immovable, non-negotiable absolute? In which case, fine, note it and realise. Is it something that I am prepared to change my position on? In which case, go work out how to change your position on it. If it's immovable, notice that it's there so you can put in ways to circumvent that situation from having to arise. If it's something that you are prepared to work on to remove that limit, work on removing it, and you're going to get much, much better results. So that's it for this week. That's what I wanted to cover. We've had a look at 5 things. I know not everybody's going to agree with all of these 5. What I would ask is simply that you give consideration to them, mull them over, have a think, maybe even have another listen to this. With the mind open, have a think. Which bits resonate? Which bits am I really, really, really fighting against? And those are the interesting ones, because when you're really fighting against it, pause and think, well, what specifically is it about that that's causing me to react in this way? And really examine it. You'll learn more about yourself. You may change and start accepting that as a myth, or you may not. Either is good, as long as you carefully consider it and analyse, why is it I'm having this reaction? And that's true for anything in life. Whenever we come across something we have an adverse reaction to, kind of take yourself out of the situation and analyse, what is it that I'm reacting to there? Why am I reacting to this? Is this a valid reaction? That can be an interesting thing to ponder. And I'm going to leave us with that for this week. So I hope you found this interesting, if nothing else. Again, drop me a line, let me know what you think, and I will catch you in the next episode. Until then, take care, look after yourself, and remember, change is always possible. And when you change your mind, you change your life.
You've been listening to the Confidence Alchemist radio show with your host, the Confidence Alchemist himself, Keith Blakemore Noble. To find out more, visit theconfidencealchemist.com.